Hello, today we are going to introduce you to the magic of chemistry. What is magic? During a magic show, we see one substance changing into another, things disappearing or reappearing or changing into a different form. Chemical equations are equally magical. Some examples of chemical reactions would be respiration, digestion of food, cooking of food, curdling of milk, burning of a candle or bursting of firecrackers. So, what is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is a change where one or more new substances are formed. The new substances which are formed are totally different in properties from the original substance. Now, we will see a few experiments that demonstrate a chemical reaction taking place. The first experiment will be burning of a magnesium ribbon. You can see magnesium strip here. It is a gray metal. We take a piece of magnesium, pick it up with the help of tongs and introduce it in the flame of a Bunsen burner. Now, please observe the changes carefully. We see that the magnesium ribbon starts burning with a dazzling white light. You are reminded of the firecrackers you burst during Diwali. It is almost the same. Along with the light, a lot of heat too is evolved. So, this chemical change can be represented as magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is the ash like substance formed when magnesium is burnt. This collects in a petri dish or watch glass kept under the magnesium ribbon. So, the observations in this experiment are the giving out of a dazzling white light and heat. So, in this experiment there is change in temperature too. Let us do another experiment. In this experiment we will see the reaction of lead nitrate and potassium iodide. Both of these are colorless liquids. We take each one in a test tube or a beaker. We see that they are colorless, and when we mix them, please observe and keep in mind the changes. So, when we mix these two colorless liquids, we see a yellow precipitate being formed. This yellow precipitate is lead iodide. What is the meaning of precipitate? A precipitate is a substance that does not dissolve in a liquid. So, it is actually a solid, insoluble solid. So, what were your observations in this experiment? You saw a change in color and you also saw a change in state, because we started with two liquids, but in the product there was a liquid and a solid. So, there was a change in color and a change in state in this experiment. Another experiment that we are going to do is to observe the action of acid on a metal. We take pieces of zinc in a test tube and this test tube needs a proper cork to cover it, and the cork should have a hole through which we pass a delivery tube. So, now after adding the pieces of zinc, we add some hydrochloric acid to the zinc. And close the cork with the tube in it, delivery tube. We will see a chemical reaction happening. You will observe that there are bubbles of a gas rising. So, a gas is being evolved. This gas comes out of the delivery tube. If you take a lighted matchstick or splinter near the gas, the matchstick extinguishes, but the gas burns and there is a pop sound. You will hear a tiny pop sound showing that the gas is hydrogen. So, this reaction can be represented as zinc plus hydrochloric acid gives zinc chloride and hydrogen. So, in this experiment, what was your observation? The observation was a gas was evolved during this chemical reaction. So, now let us sum up the changes that we saw during these three chemical experiments. So, how do we know whether a chemical reaction has occurred or not? So, there are certain observations which tell us if a chemical reaction has occurred. So, what are these observations? The first one is evolution of a gas. So, when a gas is evolved, we know that a chemical reaction has taken place. The second one is a change in temperature. You know that when magnesium ribbon burns, there is a change in temperature, a lot of heat is evolved. So, that again tells us that a chemical reaction has happened. Then there is a change in color. You saw that when you mixed lead nitrate and potassium iodide, a yellow precipitate was formed. So, change in state and change in color. So, there are four observations which tell us that a chemical reaction has occurred. One is evolution of a gas, the second one is a change in temperature, third one change in state as well as color. You saw both the changes in that experiment. So, these are the changes which tell us that a chemical reaction has occurred: change in color, change in temperature, change in state and evolution of a gas. Chemical equations. The changes taking place during a chemical reaction can be represented by writing a chemical equation. Now, let us take an example. We had performed the experiment of burning of a magnesium ribbon. Now, the chemical reaction would be magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Now, this is a word equation. Writing word equations is a long and tedious process. We should replace these words with chemical symbols and formula. The other two experiments which you did, lead nitrate plus potassium iodide gives lead iodide plus potassium nitrate. Then the third one, zinc plus sulfuric acid gives zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. So, instead of writing word equations, if we use symbols and formulae, the process becomes more efficient and better. So, let us see how to write a chemical equation. we need to replace the words with symbols and formulae. So, we will write Mg for magnesium, Mg plus O2 gives MgO. This is the first step. Now, we put boxes around each of the reactants and the products. The reactants are written on the left hand side of the equation and they are separated by a plus sign. The products are written on the right hand side, they too are separated by plus sign. Now, the next step is to balance the reaction. A reaction which is not balanced is known as a skeletal equation. This is a skeletal equation. Mg plus O2 gives MgO. It is not balanced. How do we balance it and why do we need to balance it? The law of conservation of mass says that matter can neither be created nor destroyed during a chemical change. So, you cannot get new substances or substances which were not there before, and atoms and molecules cannot disappear during a chemical reaction. So, we should check that the number of atoms of each kind are the same on the left hand side as well as the right hand side of the equation. For this, we make a table of the elements on the left hand side and that on the right hand side. In this case, we will see there is one magnesium on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. So, the magnesium is balanced, but look at oxygen. There are two oxygens on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. So, we have to make the right hand side have two oxygens, but remember we should not make any changes inside the boxes because the formula will change. We cannot make it MgO2. So, instead to balance it we have to write 2 before the box, that is in front of the box, 2 MgO. Now, check the number of atoms. Oxygen we had balanced some time back. Now, Mg has whatever number you write before the box applies to whatever is inside the box. So, now both Mg as well as O have become double. So, there are 2 Mgs and 2 oxygens. So, oxygen is balanced, but Mg, as you can see, there are 2 atoms of Mg on the right hand side, but only one on the left hand side. So, on the left hand side you have to write 2 before the box which has Mg in it. Now, we check finally whether all the atoms on the right hand side are equal to the atoms on the left hand side. So, you have a balanced equation. The balanced equation is 2 Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO. Let us now take another example to make it clearer. We will take the reaction between iron and water. Fe plus H2O gives Fe3O4 plus H2. This is the skeletal equation. We need to balance it. So, first of all, we will put boxes around all the items and remember not to change anything inside the boxes. The next step would be to list out the number of items of each kind on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. Now the list is ready. You can see that there is one Fe on the left hand side, but 3 on the right hand side. So, to get the number equal, we will put 3 outside the box where Fe is written. Now, you see that Fe is equal on both sides, but oxygen, if you check oxygen, there is 4 on the right hand side and only 1 on the left hand side. So, we need to put 4 outside the box where H2O is written. You know very well that whatever number is written outside the box applies to all the atoms inside the box. So, now oxygen has become 4, but hydrogen has also increased 4 times, that is we have 4 H2 or 8 hydrogens. So, check the other side you have only 1 H2. So, we put 4 outside the box to get 4 H2. Now, you can check all the items on the left hand side are equal to the items on the right hand side, and we have a balanced equation here. Now, one more thing needs to be done. We have to learn how to write the symbols for the physical states. What does that mean? The chemical equation does not tell us whether the substances we have written are solids, liquids or gases. So, what do we do? For solids, we write a small s within brackets next to the solid substance. For liquids, we use small l. For an aqueous solution, we use AQ, and for gases, we use a small g. Gases can also be represented by using an upward arrow next to the gas. A downward arrow next to a substance indicates that it is a precipitate and an insoluble substance. So, this is how you balance chemical equations, and you will need lots of practice in balancing. So, keep practicing unless you are thorough. Remember that once you learn how to balance these equations, you need not draw boxes around the reactants and the products, and you will need this skill throughout your chemistry lessons. So, please pay more attention and get more practice of balancing equations.